This is part 76 of C# tutorial. In this video, we'll discuss working with generic list class and ranges. This is continuation to part 74 and 75, so please watch these videos before proceeding. In this video, we'll be discussing these range functions. First of all, let's look at add range method. Now, if we want to add an item to the list, then we use add method. But this method allows us to add only one item at a time. Now, if I want to add a list of items to the existing list, then we can use this add range function. Let's look at that in action. So here is the customer class that we have been working with, and to this class I have introduced this type property. So this type property is going to tell whether the customer is a retail customer or a corporate customer. And within the main class, I have created 5 instances of the customer class. So we have customer 1, customer 2, customer 3. So these 3 customers are of type retail customer, as you can see here. And then customer 4 and customer 5 are corporate customers. And then what I have done is created 2 lists. The first list contains customer 1, customer 2, and customer 3. These 3 customer objects are retail customers. And I have created another list called list corporate customers, and to this list I have added customer 4 and customer 5. And if you look at this add method, it allows you to add only one item to the list at a time. Okay, now let's say I want to add this list of customers to this list, then we can use add range function. So list customers dot add range, and look at that, it expects enumerable of customers to be passed. So I can pass this list to this function, and then the items that are present in this list will now be added to this list. So at this point, list customers should have 5 objects within that. Let's verify that. So for each customer C in list customers, let's print the details. So I have already typed the code to print the ID, name, salary, and type of the customer. So let's go ahead and run this, and we should get 5 customers. And look at that, corporate customers, is added at the end. So add range function allows us to add a range of objects to the list. Alright, now let's look at using get range function. Now to retrieve an item from the list, we generally use that item's index. So for example, if I want the first item from this list, then we pass index 0, and look at what it is returning. It's returning a customer object, only one object back. So when we use the index, we only get one item at a time out of that list. Now if I want a range of elements, meaning a list of elements, then we can use get range function. So when I say get range, look at that, I can basically specify the starting index position from which I want the items, and then how many items I want. Okay, now let's say I want corporate customers from this list. Corporate customers start at index position 3. Okay, 0, 1, 2 are retail customers, and 3 is corporate customer. So from index position 3, I want 2 items. And look at the return type of this function. It's actually returning a list of customers back. Okay, so let's include that in a variable of type list customer, and let's call it maybe customers. And then let's use a for each loop and verify the output. Let's call it for each customer C in customers. Let's go ahead and print their ID, name, and salary and type. Okay, so let's run this now, and we should get only corporate customers. On the other hand, if I want only the retail customers, then retail customers start at index 0. So from index 0, I want 3 items. So now we should get only the retail customers. Alright, now let's look at using insert range function. So first of all, let's get rid of this function. Okay, so at the moment list customers has only 3 items. okay, because we got rid of that line, add range. So list customers only has 3 customer objects. Now if I want to insert an item into the list, then we use insert function, and obviously we need to specify the position of the index at which you want to insert that item. So if I want to insert an item at 0th index, so I specify 0 and then pass the item that I want to insert. But then this method allows us to insert only one item at a time. Okay, now is it possible to insert a list of items? Absolutely. Again, use insert range function. Okay, so all these range functions allow you to operate using a list. So let's say I want to insert these corporate customers at the top of the list, then I specify the index as 0, and then you need to obviously pass your list, which is list corporate customers. And then let's loop through this list of customers and see if we get both corporate and retail customers. And then corporate customers has to be on top because we have specified the index position as 0. On the other hand, if you want them to be inserted at the bottom, then specify the index position as 3, because the first 3 positions are occupied by retail customers. So now corporate customers should be at the bottom. Alright. Now let's look at using this remove range function. Now there are several functions that help us to remove an item from a list. First of all, I can use this remove function. Now when we use a remove function, then we will have to specify the item that we want to remove. So if I want to remove customer 1 object, so I simply pass the object that I want to remove here, in this case customer 1. So now customer 1 object will be removed from the list. So we'll only have 4 customers, 2 retail and 2 corporate. Okay, but then again this function allows us to remove only one item at a time. And then we have this remove at function. As the name states, you can remove an item at a specified index. So when we use remove at, we need to specify the index position at which we want to remove the item. Let's say I want to remove the last item from the list, then the index position is 4, so let's go ahead and pass that. So the last item, which is one of the corporate customers, should be removed from the list. Again, this remove at function allows us to remove only one item at a time. But there is another function called remove all. This allows us to remove multiple items from the list, but then in order to use this function we need to specify a condition. Now let's say I want to remove all corporate customers, then I can use this remove all and specify a condition. So we can pass a lambda expression here. Let's say x such that x dot type equals, we want to remove corporate customers, so let's pass the type. So corporate customers, so we get only retail customers. So if you want to remove retail customers, just pass that as your type and retail customers will be removed. Okay, now there's another function, remove range. So this allows us to remove a range of customers, a list of customers. Okay, so for example, let's say I want to remove corporate customers. Now corporate customers start at index position 3. So from the index position 3, remove 2 items. So what should that do? That should remove 2 corporate customers from the list. So we only get retail customers. On the other hand, if you want to remove the retail customers, then start at index position 0 and then remove 3 items. Look at that, both of the retail all the retail customers are removed and only corporate customers are left. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.